Hey everyone, I'm Liz Peterson. Welcome to another Pipedrive training video. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can use date fields in Pipedrive to program specific automations. We're going to go through a couple of different examples. The first example will be customer onboarding. Let's say that 1 month after a deal is won in Pipedrive, you want your account management team to follow up with the customer to make sure that they're happy. Great. That'll be our first example. Our second example will be more sales related. Let's say you do demos for your customers, and usually people convert fairly fast after that demo. So if 1 week after the demo, the deal is still open, then you want your sales team to do a follow-up. I'm going to show you how you can use automation to program these reminders for your sales team in this video. For simplicity, these automations are going to trigger activities to be created, but if you are doing these automations via Zapier, the options are really limitless as far as what your action can be, and the trigger will be what I'm focusing on today. So we're going to start with these two activities, the account management 1 month check-in. So we said we wanted this activity to be created 1 month after the deal was won. So we can actually create this automation either in Zapier or in Pipedrive's Workflow Automation. That's not true for all date-based automations, but it is for this one. So I'm going to show you these two different examples. So in Zapier, the way that we program this automation is we do when a deal matches a filter, and then our action is to create an activity. So here in this step, you'll see this filter is what I have selected for it to trigger. And then here in the activity, I will show you that these are all of the fields that I've completed. I want this tied to the organization from step 1. I want this tied to the person from step 1, the deal from step 1. I want this assigned to Rachel. So I've kind of hard coded who's going to be assigned this activity. This is the name of the activity, the subject, and then it's due today at 5 p.m. And then here are the instructions that I've programmed to be within the activity itself. Now, the hardest part of this is this deal matches a filter. This you need to set up in Pipedrive. So what you do for that is you're going to go to your deals, and here you're going to click add a new filter, and then you set the condition of that filter. So today's examples are fairly straightforward ones. This is going to be the deal one time is 1 month ago. You can name this. I like to put in that it's a automation based filter. So I typed Zapier at the beginning and then whatever I want to call it. And then I would click save. And then now I have that saved. And you can see these two deals match, which is why we have those two activities in the activities page. So that's how you set up the filter. And then in Zapier, you're going to select deal matching a filter as your first step and on from there. Now, how would you do this in Pipedrive's Workflow Automation? They do not have a deal matches a filter trigger, right? So our automation, our trigger options are created, updated, deleted, primarily for activities, deals, people, so on and so forth, okay? So we want this trigger to be that the deal was updated. The reason we can do this automation via Workflow Automation is because the deal gets updated when there's that status change to 1, and then the 1 date is always today, right, when that update happened. So I'm going to go back to the automation I have pre-programmed. So it has a few more steps you can see, but we're going to do the trigger as the deal was updated. Then we're going to have a filter condition that the deal status has changed to 1. So if a field changes on a deal, if an email gets added, whatever, I don't care about that. I want this to trigger when a deal is updated and the deal status has changed to 1. Then I'm going to do a delay for 4 weeks to get to that 1 month mark. And then same thing here. I've got the subject, the activity type, due date, and signee, link deal, org person, and then the instructions for the activity itself programmed into the automation. When you're doing this, really important, make sure that it's triggered by any user if you want this automation to work across your Pipedrive account, and then make sure that you turn it on so that it is active. So that's how you would do the automation for onboarding, where you're using a status change on the deal. But now let's go to that second example. So this is where your demo was 1 week ago, but the deal is still open in Pipedrive and you want your sales team to follow up. So this one we can't do through workflow automation. So if I go back here, right, I can do a deal is updated, but then I can't do anything where the demo date is 1 week ago. There's just not an option. And don't let this filter be a deception for you, because this is going to trigger when a deal is updated. So if I say deal is updated and then deal matches a certain filter, this isn't going to necessarily work the way that I want, because the demo date is not always updated on the day the demo happens itself, right? So for this one, I need to use Zapier at this point. Pipedrive does not have a way to do this natively in the app. So for this one, I have this tab pulled up here. It works very similar to the deal is won 1 month ago action. So we're going to use a filter again, and this filter is going to be just a little bit more complicated. So this one is going to be that the deal demo date, so this date field, is 1 week ago, and the deal status is open, right? If the deal is already won or lost, I don't want this activity to be created for my team. But if the deal is still open and the demo date was a week ago, then I want a reminder for my team, or I want an automated text message to go out, whatever it may be. So I would go ahead and name this one and click save. And you can see I now have these deals that match this criteria, which if I go back to my activities, these are the 2 deals that have this activity. So what this automation looks like, there's just a few different things I did here to show you the example. In this create activity step, the main thing that's different here is this assign to. In the other Zapier step, I had it hard coded. We said Rachel is our account manager, and so Rachel should always get assigned this activity. But here I assign this to the user ID from step 1. What is that? That is the deal owner. So I said, I want this to be dynamic. Whoever is the deal owner, that is who we assume is our sales rep. I want them to be assigned this activity. So you can see that here on the activities page. I have, again, those 2 deals here, and we have the assigned to user. That's who is assigned the activity as Rachel, because she's the owner, and then Liz, because she's the owner on these 2 activities. So this is a bit different than the previous example. There are a ton of examples where custom date fields can trigger actions that are going to make for a better, faster, and more seamless experience for your customers. For example, let's talk about real estate. You've got lots of dates that impact actions that have to happen. So maybe you have a property that goes pending, and if you don't have an inspection date within 3 days, you want an activity reminder to follow up on the inspection and figure out why it hasn't gotten scheduled, or if it is scheduled and you just haven't been notified, right? Insurance brokers is another great example. They win an opportunity, great, but there's a renewal that has to happen every year. So how do they know when that year is up and when they need to start working on that renewal? Using custom date fields and subsequently automations for actions that you need to take can solve these problems for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. I do read all of those questions and do my best to respond to all of them. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.